Hi again, everybody. It's Michael from Fujifilm. And today I want to talk about a couple of new features, pro-level cinema features that we have rolled out by way of a firmware for GFX 100.2 that will be making its way into other cameras as well. The first one is timecode. We're going to be able to jam sync timecode in a very easy, simple, extremely reliable fashion. And the second thing is a new color gamut that's part of our F-log2C tone curve. So let's talk about the timecode first. So we have had timecode in our cameras now for quite some time, pretty much almost all of our cameras. And it uses the internal clock in the camera. Well, frankly, the internal clock on any camera is not the most reliable, accurate clock. It's not designed to be. Sound on a professional movie set is not recorded in the camera. It's recorded on an external audio device. So it's extremely important that that audio device, as it's recording, is absolutely frame accurately matched to the camera or multiple cameras that are rolling at the same time. Because if they are not matched right down to basically a millisecond, then what happens over time is the mouth doesn't move at the same time as the audio comes out, and that's not a good thing. So on a professional film set, the sound recordist will set basically the primary clock on their recording device, and then they will go around the set and make the cameras follow that device. But now we can step up to the new thing that we've introduced, which is USB-C timecode sync by way of using products from a company called Ambient from Germany. And this has been for many, many years, quite possibly the most respected name in timecode. Basically, all they make is timecode devices. Okay, let me walk you through how fast and easy it is to now jam sync timecode with the new firmware and with Ambient timecode products. Now, in the Ambient ecosphere, they have numerous pieces of hardware. This little one is called the Nano Locket, and you can see it only has 3 buttons on it. There's no screen. It performs a few very simple functions, but it's very, very handy and useful, and I will show you how to use this with Frame.io camera to cloud coming up next. But for doing the jam sync timecode, we are going to use what's called the ACN-CL. So this is again part of the Ambient Locket system. And as you can see, it's running right now. There's a little screen on here. There's timecode actually running. And you configure this first for frame rate and other important details, either right on the device itself or by way of an app on your desktop. So the first thing you need to do is just plug in a USB-C cable, because this works USB-C to USB-C from the device to the camera. By default, right now, when you start things up, the camera is going to assume you're using in-camera timecode. But now with the newest firmware, you will have the option, okay, for sync with Bluetooth device, which we've had for a while, or now it says sync with USB device. And we are going to select that. Because I had it running with the in-camera timecode and then I changed it to USB device, you now see right now in the bottom left corner of the screen, there is no timecode showing, and you can see the TC is yellow. All I have to do is plug in the USB cable right into the side of the camera, and instantly it will lock timecode. Boom. Just like that. Immediately it shows it's connected to USB and it has the current time running as well. Okay, now another handy feature that you can do with Ambient once you've now set the timecode clock in the camera to follow is you can do something called real-time logging. And this can be very, very useful. So this is, like I said, the little nano device from Ambient. And what you do with these three buttons, there's a green one and a red one, and the off switch, but the green one and the red one can be configured to give markers with a particular kind of comment, and you can tell the system what that comment is going to be. By default, green is good and red is bad. And in the demo, I'm going to show you exactly that workflow. So what this means is you have this on the set, and as you're recording, and this is especially useful, I would say, for interviews, but it could be for any kind of recording. But as you're recording, the director can hold this, and when they see a particular thing that they want to mark for the editor to make sure they keep that, they can hit the green button and it marks it with a good marker. If there's something that they don't like, or if something went out of focus or something happens in the background, they can hit the red marker, and that again can either say bad or it can be a custom comment. For this to work though, however, you have to have this device from Ambient, which is called the Locket Plus. The Locket Plus is basically your primary hub for all other Locket devices on the set. Locket Plus and the Nano and the CL have something internal called the ACN system. It's Ambient's proprietary network for having the devices talk to each other, and it does it with extreme precision and accuracy. But the important thing is you need the Locket Plus to connect by way of Wi-Fi through the internet into Frame.io. So you will authorize Locket Plus into your Frame.io project, just like you would it was a camera. And then when you turn the Nano device on, the Nano device talks to the Locket Plus, and the Locket Plus tells Frame.io that the Nano is online. Okay, so here I am outside. I have a little stopwatch running just for reference, and this is the Nano Locket. And as I'm talking, I'm going to press the good button right now. That marked it as a good take. And you know what? I'm thinking this moment right now is really good. And let's do one more time. That was good. Okay, now I've got something moving in the background that I don't like. Okay, that is bad. So, oh, that's still moving in the background. Let's not use that take. Bad. Great, that file uploaded into Frame.io. There it is. Let's play it and listen in and see if it worked. Okay, so here I am outside. I have a little stopwatch running just for reference, and this is the Nano Locket. And as I'm talking, I'm going to press the good button right now. That marked it as a good take. And you know what? I'm thinking this moment right now is really good. And let's do one more time. That was good. Okay, so the system works just like it's supposed to. Here you can see is a bad one. Here's a bad one. And over on the right-hand side, they're all listed as comments. Okay, let's talk about that expanded color space, which is almost as large as human vision in most of the colors. It's actually bigger than human vision in most of the colors. There's some it doesn't quite match, but it's really, really huge. If you talk to most professional still photographers, especially those that do landscape work and fashion, they do not use sRGB. They will use Adobe RGB or something else in their cameras because they want to get as much nuance as possible. And landscape photographers in particular, because they're going to be printing, they want to be able to be sure that when they adjust the printing profiles from the camera file to the printer, that they have, again, as much latitude and nuance as they can get for different colors. You know, there's lots of shades of green and there's lots of tonality to a blue sky, especially around sunset or at dawn. So, being able to capture more colors is very, very helpful. So what I did was I got a whole large amount of t-shirts, okay? And they're all from the same manufacturer. They're all 100% cotton. And why did I do that? Why did I just use a color chart? Well, because I wanted to make sure that this was real world, that we were looking at real world colors. And I made up basically two clotheslines of these t-shirts, and I went out at midday and the sun is almost directly right overhead. And I wanted to use sunlight, not any kind of artificial light at all, because I wanted to make sure we have the integrity and the purity of 100% continuous spectrum from daylight, because I wanted to see exactly what we get back from the fabrics. And again, fabrics are going to be your biggest color playground, especially on movie sets, because you never know what a director or a production designer or a wardrobe designer is going to want in terms of the wardrobe for different characters and different time periods, and how those fabrics are going to change under different lighting conditions and different exposure conditions. And it's those exposure conditions in particular are where you can get in trouble. All right, so top and bottom you see F-Log2 Cine and regular F-Log2, and you do notice that the colors may be prettier for F-Log2 F Gamut straight out of the camera without any kind of grade, but that isn't the point. The point of F-Log2 Cine is because it's a wider color space and therefore the colors are not pushed out to the edge as far. It gives us more room for malleability and experimentation when I want to do grades. So I went and intentionally overexposed this as much as possible. And now I'll go in and make a basic grade to try to bring the colors into some kind of usable range. Even though I can't save the highlights, this is about the color. So you can see with that, the colors are definitely different. But now if I go into saturation and I go to 100% on the saturation adjustment for each of these two clips, what you'll see is that F-Log2 regular, the colors become absolutely extreme and crazy and pushed all the way out to the max, whereas F-Log2 Cine, they still have subtlety and they still can be manipulated even further. Okay, there you have it. Some new great additional features using ambient timecode products and Frame.io, and also our new vastly expanded color gamut, the F Gamut C. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.